כל השונה הלכות בכל יום מובטח לו שהוא בן העולם הבא. בעזרת השם, no sweet, I told you I cannot. No good, heartburn. I get a crazy heartburn when I eat sweets. בעזרת השם, we're learning today the 30th of the month of Elul, Wednesday, the fourth day of the day of the week of Parashat Kitavo. We'll be discussing today two mitzvot, the Oraita, mitzvah number 579 and 580. 579 tells us that if a man, unfortunately, has to divorce his wife, he has to give her something called Sefer Kritut. We call it today in plain English, get. A get, in all the languages today we call that. Now, that's an obligation of a man to give her if he wants to divorce her. Mitzvah number 580. Now, she went out and she got married to somebody else. Which is, if she got somebody, we'll discuss what are the opinions in reference to that. You'll be very surprised to find out that Rashi is very, very, very strict about it. And he says, he says, the Pasuk tells us, he divorced her because he found something bad in her. You go into the Mishnayot, and the Mishnayot tell you, what is bad? You know what is bad? He found somebody more beautiful than her. Shem Rachem. One of the opinions. Shulchan Aruch paskins halacha. When are you allowed to divorce your wife? If she burns your food. If she burns your food, so there's a whole big discussion. What does that mean?
Only burn, you have to divorce her?
Yes. Crazy. If she burns your food, you have to divorce her. That's the halacha. Okay? Shulchan Aruch. Now,
if you burn her,
says Rashi, if these are the cases, if the person divorced her because of these things, a second man comes and takes her, it's a guarantee that he will divorce her. That's Rashi on the spot. Many people today don't talk about it. Everybody's talking about divorces, and everybody's talking about this crisis, that crisis. The very simple answer to all of this. The simple answer is nobody's teaching nothing. Nobody's teaching Torah properly. Today, the girls don't know what they're supposed to do at home. The boys don't know what they're supposed to do at home. And chalas.
So
and now you have divorces.
So what?
We'll find out right now. The chinuch will tell us exactly what a wife's supposed to do at home in order to make sure that she doesn't receive that document called a get. What do you want to say?
Oh, there was a funny joke. Rabbi Gordon said, bless his memory, he said, my wife loves me so much, she gives me burnt sacrifices every day.
Burnt sacrifices, okay.
If the husband burned the food,
it's a big problem. It's haram on the husband who knows how to cook. Haram. What are you doing instead of learning Torah? What are you doing cooking?
I have to learn.
I have sardines.
I
don't know how
right?
to cook. I'm an expert with the microwave.
Right, microwave. Don't touch the microwave. I don't touch it. Since the last the year and a half, I don't touch microwave. Nothing. Poison. Okay, in mitzvah number 580, we'll be discussing of taking her back, isur of taking back the wife that you just divorced, and what's after she married somebody else. The mitzvot are sponsored today. Le'ului nishmat Aaron ben Moshe. ולהבדיל בין אלה ולהבדלות לביתים לחיים. We're talking about רפואה שלמה לכל חולי עם ישראל. ובכללם ליעקב בן רחל, חיה בת לאה, יוסף חיים בן אפרת, יעקב ישראל דניאל בן אנג'לה, ניסים בן שמחה, יוסף בן שמחה, שלמה בן שמחה, אברהם בן שרה, לרפואה שלמה לכל חולי עמו ישראל. This is in both languages. Okay. Somebody's making a joke over here. We discussed before learning that you learn Torah in any language possible. As much as if you have time.
I've heard.
You learned.
I heard
if you have
tefillah for sure. Tefillah doing lashon hakodesh. Yeah, but I never heard like
if
learning. You can't learn.
If Torah is taught. Okay, hopefully by somebody who's representing Torah, then it's a good time to learn.
You can say it in English or in Hebrew.
What?
Tefillah, you have to say it in English or in Hebrew.
Tefillah, if you don't have to say it in Hebrew, you have to say it in Hebrew. If you don't, you say it in English. Let's go. That's it. Gentlemen, Aleph. שנצטווינו כשנרצה לגרש נשותינו, לגרש אותן בכתב. Listen to the language of Mitzvoth. We're talking about a Rishon, or the Chinuch is talking about here now. A Rishon is talking, what is divorce? When you want to divorce your wife, the language, the language. You want to divorce your wife. What's happening here? You want to. So from here we see, first of all, there is no mitzvah to divorce your wife. There is no mitzvah in the Torah to divorce your wife. It's not like Kriyat Shema and Puran Tefillin. Kriyat Shema, you must Puran Tefillin. You must say Kriyat Shema. You must say Tefillin, Puran Tefillin. But Isha, to give her a get, you not must. Nobody should live over here and say, oh, let me die and I'm going to fulfill all the mitzvot. Let me divorce my wife. That's wrong. That's wrong. ועל זה הכתב יאמר הכתוב ספר כריתות, and this is called ספר כריתות, a book of severance, separating. והוא שקראו אותו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה, get. Our sages called this name, another name in English, it's called a get. וכמו כן, המתרגם תרגם ספר זה get. Also, as it says over there, the Tirgum, he uses the Sefer Kridut, he says get. ועל זה נאמר, and it says in ספר דברים, chapter 24, פסוק א', וכתב לה ספר כריתות, ונתן בידה ושילחה מביתו. The Torah tells us, and he wrote for her a book of severance, and gave her בידה in her hand, ושילחה מביתו, and sends her away from his house. So there's a lot of halachot. We'll get there in a few minutes. Let's just find out Shoresh mitzvah. What is this kind of mitzvah? What is going on here? Just a few minutes ago, they were ba-ba-ba, they couldn't live without each other, right? And they go out on the dates, and another date, and another date, and another date. They love each other, and he engages, and ba-ba-ba. By the way, it's the haram today. Also, weddings take longer than a week. Once a boy and girl go out, they find that they're good. I tell the boys, one thing you look for in a girl. One thing. After you do all the homework, right? You did all the homework. What's part of the homework? Make sure she never said no to a boy. Make sure she's a normal girl. Make sure she has the midos of a girl, not a midos of a boy. If a girl said no to a boy after she dated him, and she said, I don't want to marry this boy, for whatever reason, any reason, doesn't matter what reason is, if she said to him, I don't want to marry him, even though, unless he lied to her, that's a different story. If the boy lied to her before she took him, then it's, mekach taut. But if she did not lie, everybody was fine. They don't tell you this. They have to tell you first. They have to tell you befirush, up front. A boy lied, and therefore she said no. If she didn't say it, she says no without that reason, that's the only reason it's going to be mutar. A girl, it takes marriage to get anybody. As the Gemara says, it's better to be two than one. A girl marries anybody. That's why the halacha is today, we don't ask a girl, is she attracted to the boy? Because that's not the point. The point is not of a girl looking for attraction. A girl is looking for affection. Okay? Boy looks for attraction. It's a different story. Now, so that's one of the general rules over here is what?
Today, a lot of people is another world. Today they look all for the money.
So I talk to the boys. I say to the boys, after you did all your homework, you look for one thing.
Yes.
Literally, technically speaking, a person after the first date should get ready. The second date should be already proposing. That's it. There's no reason for anything else. Waste of time and all this and Moavirot. The purpose of marriage is to what? To bring children in the world. Charas. Now what do? I tell the boys, you go out on a date. Obviously, before you daven to Hashem and you did all your homework. Now she's the one that, according to your homework, worked out. What are you looking for in the first date? You're looking not to be repulsed by her. You don't want to be repulsed by her. You want to make sure she doesn't make you disgusting. That's the only thing you have to tell the boys. Nothing else. Everything else is b'dei shamayim. Anything you do with the wife, after you engage her, if you told her, I want to marry you, and she says yes, that means it's Hashem. Anybody asks you, how do you know it's from Hashem? The moment that you asked her, will you marry? You want to build a family together? And she says yes, this is from Hashem. No questions asked. And if you do it, Hashem shamayim. If you do everything, I'm God. Why today there's so many divorces? Because everyone is God. The mother-in-law is a god. The father-in-law is a god. Both sides are God. The boy is a god. The girl is a god. Therefore, you know what they say? You know what they say? Too many chefs in the business. Too many chefs in the kitchen, right? Oh, that's halas. But that's not it. The Torah tells you, be simple. The Torah tells you, if you propose, I tell every boy, you want to bet, I'll wager with you $10,000 cash bet. I'll wager with you and I win. You go out in the street right now, you find any Jewish girl and you say, I want to marry you. And she says, I'm marrying you? Yes. That's from Hashem. And if you could take a girl that I'm going to date for 100 times, and it will be the same results. The life will be the same. Everything throughout your life will be exactly the same. If you marry the girl 2 times, or you dated her 2 times or more, or you dated her only once and you proposed to her. The life will be exactly the same. It's a guarantee. Now, continue. Now, what's the purpose? Listen to this. Listen to this chinuch, which people don't teach to any girl today. A father is obligated to teach his girls today this business. What's the business? Listen to what he says. A whole sole purpose of a woman to do what? Is to help a man. Today, marriages are, I hear rabbis talk to girls. Marry this boy. He's gonna make you happy. He's gonna help you all the time. So what is the girl getting to? She's getting married to my husband. Is gonna be my helper. Shem Rachem. You already broke the marriage before they was built. You destroyed the marriage before they built each other. Why? Hashem says the whole sole purpose of a woman is to help her husband, no matter what. He's a Rasha, she's helping him to be a Rasha. No, obviously not, but I'm just saying, she's here to help him. You want to have a marriage, sustainable marriage? First understand this rule. The rule is a girl has to know in her mind, I'm here to help my husband. What does that entail? Everything. Whatever he does. Whatever he does. Tell me one yeshiva today, one girls' school, any Beis Yaakov today teaches that. Teach me one, show me one father who teaches that to his daughters. Except for anybody who hears me and who cares to listen to what I'm saying. Because most people don't even care what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, in my house, since age 4, I brainwash my girls. 4 or 5, I brainwash them. Habibis, you're here for one purpose, and one purpose to help your husband. I give you a bracha that you should have always strength, that you'll never need your husband's help. Push him to learn Torah constantly. That's what a girl has to know from babies. That's what she has to hear constantly from her father. And I told my wife, oy vavoy to you, if you give any advices to my children. My wife didn't grow up Jewish. She grew up in a not religious home, secular home. She's Baal Tshuva. She went to yeshiva only after high school. So she doesn't know what needs to be chinuch, what girls are supposed to be doing. I told my wife, chas v'shalom. Baruch Hashem, my wife is a tzaddiket. She's married me. If you married me, you have to be a tzaddiket, right?
That's what you pushed.
But I told my wife, oy vavoy to you. You don't give not one advice to my girls how to behave. I do that. I'll tell my girls. It's obligation of every father to tell his girls how to behave with your husband. Your purpose, Rabbi says, your purpose here to help your husband. Zeu, nothing else. Don't expect anything else. Don't expect help from him back. And that's a mistake. Lo ke'echad miklei hamidato. Oh, le'adam vehi lo ke'echad miklei hamidato. Says the chinuch. The whole purpose of a wife, it's like one of the most desirable tools that he has. A guy who repairs a car. What is his desirable tool? The most desirable tool for a man who repairs cars? A wrench. The most desirable tool. I see guys repairing cars. They have like 100 different sizes of wrenches. This is the main thing they love. A wrench. Same thing. A wife has to be desirable. You are his tool. To do what? To help him. Okay, as our sages told us in the Masechet Sanhedrin, page 22, Amud B'Hed, En ha'isha koretet brit ela lemi she'asa keli. A woman only will desire her husband if he makes her like the most desirable utensil that he has. Meaning she wants to be used in that way. That's the way the woman is built. Not the way around what we're building today. What's the divorce rate today, by the way? Anybody know?
Secular or religious?
Jewish Orthodox, close to 40%, Habibis.
40%. Wow, 40?
Close to, don't tell me, almost 40% in Orthodox. Yes, ask Agudas Yisrael, they'll tell you. Almost 40%. It's for sure over 30%. 30% was 25 years ago. 20 years.
The Beit Dins right now, they're just working, just doing the
4 or 5 divorces a day, Beit Din have. Okay?
They have to do everything. This one
Habibi, 40% in Orthodox families. Yes! What you saying no? Just because you don't hear it, I'm telling you. Baruch Hashem, you don't hear it. Good. So you're dealing with the other 60%.
So why they got divorced?
Huh? Why they got divorced? Because the girl is here to do, I want everything. I don't want to help you. You're here, I'm bringing you a baby. Shut up. Be happy I'm bringing you a baby. There's a million reasons. Million. I had a big machloket once with my Rosh Yeshiva in the Yeshiva. I asked him. I said, Kodarav. So what's the purpose of all this divorce? I asked him this question 22 years ago. No, sorry, 19 years ago. 19 years ago, I asked him, I said, Kodarav, Rosh Yeshiva, Heilige Rosh Yeshiva, tell me what's your belief, why there was divorces? 99.9% men. The men are at fault, he tells me. I said, this is 19 years ago. I said, Kodarav, what you're saying exactly is you're still holding back 50 years back. I said, I apologize to you. Kodarav maybe doesn't know the only thing that changed in the last 50 years is women. The only thing that changed in this world, the feminist movement. He thought about it for a second, he looks at me and says, you know what you're talking about. Of course I know what I'm talking about. Why shouldn't I know what I'm talking about? I'm living it. 50 years ago, that was 70 years ago. That was a story. If a man divorced a woman, it was his fault. He's an idiot. That was not normal in the 1950s. Okay?
And the Goyim too. They
all right. It was not everywhere. What happened? What happened?
The Jewish even
so I told the Rosh Yeshiva, I said, 50 years, Rebbe, baby, Baruch Hashem, you're learning in the yeshiva. You don't know, he's an old man. I said, you don't know what's happening. The women are out of control. Women are out of control. They're not taught their job. Their job is to help their husbands. And what are they doing today? The other way around. The husband's here to help me. The Apikorsim came up with this idea, this liberal idea. Chesed starts at home. No such a thing, first of all. There is no such a thing as Chesed starts at home. If a wife is sick, that's one story.
Yeah, but
if it's not,
you have to help her.
Okay, if she needs your help, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the nekuda. That's the nekuda. Habibi, let me ask you a question. How many siblings your father had?
In his family?
Yeah, siblings. 7, 8. How many? Your grandfather? How many hours a day spent at home helping his grandmother?
My grandfather?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't
know. Let me tell you how many.
My grandfather.
You know when? That's right. You know how many? You hear this number? How many divorce rate in your grandfather's time? What happened? What happened? Tell me, please. Wow. They were bad people. The grandfathers were bad people. What was the divorce rate? How many hours they spent at home helping their wives? How many children they had minimum? 8, 9, 10 children at minimum.
They have nothing.
What happened all of a sudden? And they had no money. What happened? I tell you what happened. The woman came and they were taught, you are not here to help your husband. Your husband is here to help you. You have Rabbonim today, Rashayim, giving drashot berabim, publicly speaking, Shalom Bayit Shiurim, a man has to come home and wash dishes. What? Where's Torah? Where is Torah? If a wife is sick and there's no way other way, I understand. But they're talking lechatchila to start. The marriage has to start with a man understanding that he has to abandon Torah.
If you have many kids, you have to give him.
Habibi, odapam, you're not listening. What now you're talking with your heart. Just digest what I just said to you with your mind. 150 years ago, there was no divorce rate, and no family was less than 10 kids almost. And the husbands were never home, sitting and learning Torah non-stop. Or they had to go to work, if they had to go to work. Average Balabait learned in B'chafetz Chaim's time 8 hours a day, 7 to 8 hours a day. Learning. What are we talking about? Where are we going off? And today it's even easier. Hashem made it so easy. The whole feminist movement. What is the purpose of the whole feminist movement? This is what my Rosh Yeshiva directed. My Rosh Yeshiva says man became weak in their mind. So in his mind, he says, that's why probably we have so many divorces. Men can't handle women. I said, Rosh Yeshiva, the other Rabbah, the man became weak because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it knows it's hard. I'm trying to learn. How many times I fall asleep? In the middle of learning. I'm tired. The mind is so weak. The mind is so weak. Today you have a koilel guys learning 6 hours a day. And it's a big thing, we consider it. Why? Because we're weak. We're chalashim. So what did Hashem do? A beautiful thing. He came up with a feminist movement. A wife could go to work as an accountant and bring money more than her husband. For what purpose? Go sit and learn. Go sit and learn. Go sit and learn. That's all. Nothing else. The whole feminist movement was a perfect idea. The idea was that the woman will get at such a high level that they will get paid enough money the husband doesn't have to work at all. But what happens? The whole world is upside down. You are here to help me. Unfortunately, these women are growing up. You're here to help me. And forget about your learning the Torah. Go do everything in the house. And then when I come home, make sure I have supper at home. Wow to a man who knows how to make a supper. Remember that. ועובר על זה. וגירש את אשתו ולא כתב לה הגט במצוות התורה וכעניין שפירשו חכמינו זיכרונם לברכה ביטל עשה זה. A man who just sends out his wife, or we call today in today's modern language in English, it's called aguna. מה זה aguna? A man sends away his wife or runs away from his wife, which I don't blame them. Why? I don't blame this woman. why man. I don't blame this man when they run away from his wife. It's a terrible thing that he leaves her agunah. But what? A guy comes in Israel. All the agunot in Israel is because of Rabbanut. Why? How can I say that? Rabbanut. You know what Rabbanut does to a man? He comes to Beit Din. Listen to this. He comes to Beit Din. He wants to go to Beit Mishpat Elyon to get a get, a civil get. We'll not give you a civil get, divorce until you go to Rabbanut. Okay. He comes to Rabbanut. Yes, Rabbanut. What do you want? We cannot give you a get until you settle in the Beit Mishpat Elyon. Settle the mezonot. So listen to this. Every case, Badug Umenu says, it's crazy. A guy goes to American civil court. What do you want? He earned 5,000 shekels a month, living with her with 5 kids. Now she's divorced. She has 5 kids, right? So the attorney gets on the stage. Shofet Yakar, my dear judge, 5 kids, mezonot, talush, 25,000 shekels a month. If he wants to divorce her, he has to bring Arevim, all his family members, to sign on him that he's going to pay 25,000 shekels a month while they're divorced. Do you understand what kind of... And now he goes to Beit Din, he says, I want to give her a get. Sorry, Habibi, settle in court first. But what do you mean settle in court? She wants 25,000, I don't have. Sorry, that's the law. And now what do you have? 100% almost. All agunot are because of this reason in Israel. I would say 99.9% for sure, if not 100%. Now, if somebody didn't give her a get while he was supposed to give her a get, he breaks the mitzvah. Mitzvah number 5, baby. שלא יחזיר המגרש גרושתו אחר ששנאתה, שנמנעו מלהחזיר האישה אחר שגירשנה, a man who divorced his wife, ונעשה לאחר, she went ahead and married somebody else. So the whole discussion over there is, what happens to a woman when she starts doing znut? People don't understand that. I know today in America we're all brainwashed thinking that man wants to have relations in bed more than a woman, because that's the way the world is brought out. It's not true. Woman's desire for a man is 1,000,000,000 times stronger than man's desire for a woman. Much more stronger. And this woman, unfortunately, she went ahead and started doing things with other men after she divorced. The halakha is, if he wants to take her back, still allowed to take her back. When is that he could never take her back? Once when she got engaged. Once she even got engaged to another man, made an act of kiddushin, not like today we engaged party. We're talking about it. She took a tabad and she said, Hariyad Mikudeshli, and after a few months they're going to get divorced.
She was with a relationship with somebody else,
she could get married back, yes.
If she could. Wow.
Yeah. Because the Torah prohibits znut. Considers the Torah is this business of marrying from one to another. The Torah tells us, in Masechet Devarim, chapter 24, and pasuk Dalet, lo yuchal ba'ala harishon asher lashuv lekachta. Over there, a man is not allowed to take her back. Why? Because the Torah considers marriage is people will be abusing the concept of marriage. Remember, what is a goal of a person who is frivolous, who likes to play around? He wants to do as less avirot as possible. So what is the avira? If a person goes sleeps with another woman without engaging her, without making her kiddushin, it's called znut. And if it's called znut, what? If it's called znut, it gets lashed for it, 39 lashes. A person doesn't want to do znut. So no person wants to be involved in znut, in the language of znut. So what do they rather do? They rather divorce, marry. So people were playing around with their wives, shuffling them around. So Hashem says, Hashem is smarter than us. He says that, as soon as one man divorces, the next one marrying her, and the other one divorces her, you can never take her back, because you want to prevent this business of shuffling wives.
If it was opposite.
Hold on a second. Remember, again, what is the purpose of a wife? To help her husband. Yes. So what will a man do? He will say, listen, this guy over there, I remember a movie, Indecent Proposal, 30 years ago. There was a movie in America. There was something in a casino. The guy was playing in a casino with his wife, and a millionaire came and says, I want to be with your wife for a night, I'll give you $1 million. Oh, yeah. Remember that movie? No. Shem Rachem? That would be, if the Torah did not say this prohibition, a man will be selling his wife for one night to somebody else.
Now, if it was opposite, the man who...
What? The man is allowed to marry 100 wives, not a problem.
If it was opposite.
I told you, a man is allowed to marry 100 wives. What's the big deal? Okay. So anyway, what's that? ועובר על זה, what's that? שיקר עליו אנשים והרמב"ן, אוקיי. ונוהג איסור זה בכל מקום, בכל זמן, בזכרים משעליהן באה האזהרה שלא להחזירן. So a man is not allowed to return his wife, as we said. ומכל מקום, גם אנשים בכלל האיסור, אף על פי שעיקר עליו, okay? What happens that if a man does חס ושלום, שלא יחזיר הגרושה אחר שנשא, ואחר שלא יבוא הבעלה לאשתו. So it doesn't say over here what happens to a person who does that. Or do we give him, we give him malkut. Right? It doesn't tell us. If a man takes his wife back after she divorced, I'll look into it. I don't see here exactly what is the punishment. But anyway, if you have to go to work, make a lot of money without any headaches. That's